Okay, where is it? Huh? Is it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Um, so I've realised that I actually should probably record it. So I've got them side by side. I'm not going to copy it exactly, but I am going to be following the basic details of these, which are honestly really pretty. I love the way they look. And there's a bunch of different colours you can get, but it seems like the most prominent one is this yellowy kind of colour. That might just be the way the light's shining on it though. So I'm going to... God, these are actually really pretty. I really like the shapes. Okay, this isn't what I wanted. I just wanted to look at the image, but sure, cool. Anyway. Oh my god, these are so pretty. I really like this blue one that like transitions into white. I think that's what I'll do. Let me get a nice deep blue here. Maybe make it a bit paler. Yeah, alright. Okay, okay. Now I'm noticing that like in the composition there's just a lot of buds in general. They don't just go in one direction like they do in Minecraft, you know. Most of these show them spreading out in all directions. So I think I'm gonna kind of try to get that essence down best I can. I mean, I knew I wanted to make it blue just because I like the way blue plants look, but I didn't realize that they could be so pretty. Right, so I think we've got our basic color and form down. I'm pretty happy with this. I don't think mine is. I think it's fairly well balanced. I think that this leaf could be sharper, maybe. Yeah. Hmm. No, I'll leave it like that. I'll leave it like that. All right. So then I'll do this, and oh, that might be a bit too dark. The way Minecraft does its shit. Okay, it's a bit all over the place. Gotcha. Right. Well, I'll just. Okay, that yellowy colour does look a lot nicer for plants. Alright, let's start with our highlights. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So I am looking at this for a lot of my inspiration. I'm not realising that these are very similar colours, but it's fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be using the Minecraft textures themselves for a good amount of inspiration. Yeah. So I want to be able to discern the fact that this leaf here, look, there is a gap here, right? Where this is the stem, and this all is the leaf. I want to make that easy to see, so I'm going to grab this, darken it a little bit, make it more of a rich kind of green, and just slap some stuff in there. And it doesn't look too bad, all things considered. You don't have to discern it too much. You can pretty easily get away with just kind of plopping some stuff around. And what I like to do is just to make my shadow color semi-transparent. That could really help with getting those in-betweeny tones that you might want. As you can see there, I like to do it with the highlight as well. The highlights I feel like do have to be a bit sharper, but it does give you a lot of creativity. Like you can see there, that does not look that bad at all. I might thicken this bit of the stem, honestly, yeah. And it can look really nice. And then we've got this whole thing. Maybe this should be even softer, you know? Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. Because these aren't shadows, this is like a transition in the texture, but with only like this many pixels to work with, you don't have much freedom with that. So it's kind of difficult to properly get what you want, but I think that that is really nice. Just like this little thing, and then I can just darken it slightly. Okay, anyways. I am honestly a huge fan of the way that these look. It is so nice and like just aesthetically really pleasing in general. Oh god, that needs to be just there we go. They just give me good vibes, I guess. Anyway, that doesn't look bad at all. That is not bad. That is not a bad texture, I don't think. I might want to have a bit of a harsher one. Yeah, 100%. Alright, that looks nice. I like that. I'm a big fan. Okay, that is our Lily of the Valley, people. That is our... There we are. Alright, Lily of the Valley. I'm gonna... Um... I can save as... Boom, boom. And just like that, we've got our Lily of the Valley saved. I am very happy with that. I think it gives us the good essence of what a Lily of the Valley is without sacrificing anything really. Yes, these are a much deeper blue, but I feel like I've got to make it. But I feel like if I have too much contrast in a small space, it's gonna be kind of harsh. Now I've done that, let's get our lava. Um, yeah, there we are. Alright. Now I'm not actually going to be doing the lava bucket. I'm going to be doing the lava flow and the lava still, which are like animations, like animated files. You can see here, there's like it's like a sprite sheet basically. So I'm gonna try to recreate these, which is gonna be a pain, honestly, but it's what ended up on the wheel, and I don't want to just decide not to do it because I don't want to. Christ. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this because so that you can see. Each of these squares is 16 by 16. Minecraft blocks and items are, by default and by most resource packs, in a 16 by 16 resolution. That is just the style of the game. So uh, I I have. So that means that there is. Christ Almighty. Oh God, I've got to. Oh, let me do the maths. Hang on. There we are. All right. I don't need the. There we are. Okay. I just can't be bothered to. So 5. Well, no, that is 512 divided by 16. 32 in one row times 2. I need to make 64 16 by 16 textures. That's insane. Christ. Okay, it's fine. 512, so that's 10. 24. Oh, I'm just the best. Oh, okay, no, I've made a big I've made a big mistake. Okay. 512. There we go. Okay, cool. I don't know why it does this, but now I assume it's because the texture doesn't have transparency. But now, here we've got our. This is where I need to draw my stuff. Now I don't know what the continuity of the lava flow animation is, but as you can see, take this. Take this little dot for example. I'm actually gonna do it on your. Take this little dot here. As you scroll down, you can see it's here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and so on and so forth. And you can realize it slowly kind of fades out until you can't really see it. Like it's there, but it just becomes unnoticeable from a good distance away as it begins to shrink and lose opacity. And that's the basic philosophy of the lava texture. Is just you've got these patterns, and as things go on, it looks like it fades in and out. Now, because I've picked lava, I have to do lava still and lava flowing. This is lava flowing, so let me just... Christ. Here we go. Open with Aspirate. Right. It's open in a separate window for some reason, but it's fine. And I can't move it to the same window. Why? Okay, tell you what, I'll just close that. And then, yeah, okay, there we go. Christ. This one is interesting because there's like half as many sprites I need to do. This is only 16 wide, and as you can see, its shape is a lot different in general. I don't know how to draw like molten lava, but I do have an idea, because if you know, in real life, lava isn't, well, lava doesn't look like this, basically. Because this looks like not even joking, this looks like melted cheese. Like spicy melted cheese. Not even because it's hot, just because it's orange. But actual lava, well, okay, it just showed me lava at the first. Guy, like some people will look at like Google Images and pick the first thing. Guys, look, I found lava. Just Christ. Anyway, but yeah, so yes, lava can be this kind of glowy, fake-looking thing, but in most cases, it's got like rocks around it, and it's all crumbly and stuff, and that's purely just because oxygen is too cold for lava to sustain, right? Lava moves fairly slow in Minecraft, moves faster in the Nether, but I don't know how to make it so that the texture is different depending on the dimension it's in. But you can see here, like, there's a lot more black chunks. There's a lot more contrast in general between real life lava and Minecraft lava, so I want to kind of mimic this idea. So, that's the whole range of colours, by the way. When you open an image, it shows you all of the colours here as like a palette. That's all of them. That is insane. Christ. So, actually, let me show you something. If I do this, wow, okay. The difference is so minimal. That like you don't even notice a difference until you just spam and spam. Yeah, this is the shading brush in Aspirate. The way it basically works is it if you select a big range, like for example, okay, all these colors are way too close. Let me bring up a different palette. Let's do this one, just for example. I'll load it. If I draw this little guy, right, and I give it a shadow, I guess, as well as a highlight. Little weird little thing, right? I can get my shading brush, do that, and now, whenever I draw over it, it just kind of covers stuff until it gets to the end, and then it's black. And if you do it the other way, I mean, if you do it in, okay, never mind, doing it in the other way doesn't do anything, but you can right click to go backwards. Okay, I'm turning Pixel Perfect off because it's making this really annoying. And you can see it has this neat little thing going on. All the way until you get to... Yeah, anyway, this is... Oh. Ugh. This is not the point anyway. This is unrelated to anything. I'm just rambling because it's like really I'm just procrastinating because I don't want to do this. I'm gonna be fully honest. But let's just get to it, right? So this, it's not like a proper full black, right? You can see it's like this orangey kind of, this deep dark orange. So deep dark. Anyways, but it's like a molten orange, kind of like that, I think. But it might look better. Hello. Oh right, it's because of the shading brush. My bad. Yeah, yeah, kind of like that. So if I wanted to have some proper stuff, I'm actually gonna like select a 16 by 16 thing here. If you double click it, select 16 by 16, just so that I can keep track of where I am. Now something interesting about lava that you could probably figure out is like the reason you can't tell what's what just by looking is because they're supposed to seamlessly tile. That's because liquids do that, they tile. So if I do this, it would create a seamless tiling. Obviously that doesn't really look right considering it's meant to be like rock, but you get what I'm saying, right? You can see what I mean. So if I do that, that creates the perfect little thing, right? And here you've got this bit, so I need to... Right, okay, that's just not what I wanted. But whatever, okay. Now I've got that. That might look good, but then there's the issue of grid stuff. So what people might do is people might select this. I don't actually know how to do this. I haven't messed with it too much, but I think there's a way to do tiling. Um, I'm trying to figure it out, honestly. There's a way somewhere. There definitely is. Duplicate. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay. View. Tile mode. Tile mode. There we go. Tiled in both axes. And you can see here that it works well. And let me just press F7 so you can get a far away view. Because that's really important. It works. It tiles well. I've clearly done a good job there aside from some little things of note, like the fact that this might look a bit too sharp. So we're going to make it look a bit more natural. Bean. And it looking a bit repetitive is inevitable, even if this is like in the way of everything. Sorry, I'm being... There we go. Obviously, if I copy this, do the same thing, and then I go for view tiled mode both axes, this is going to have some repetitiveness that you're going to be... Oh, hang on. This is like genuine on me. There we go. That's the best I can do. Yeah, there is some repetitiveness that you're just going to be able to inherently notice. So I don't think that's something that I can avoid. I also want to try and make this without copying any of the colours. So this I will not be able to put in there. So, and also this needs to be like a more saturated, vibrant, reddy colour. There's also like something here. Feels a little bit empty. Here maybe. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good enough at least. Now this isn't gonna look good in the game, right? So what I need to do is I need to add shading and stuff, which will involve both making this rock darker by adding little points and stuff. And that looks fine, you know. The only problem is though it doesn't... Hang on. Okay, it'll show you... I'll be able to show you better if I just do it and draw and stuff. There we go. Now this looks a bit unnatural, and that's because this orangey bit is supposed to kind of glow onto it. And I don't know how to make glowing other than maybe do this, I guess, and stuff. Now rocks don't have highlights; they don't really shine, especially not these kind of rocks. Now these rocks obviously have some kind of bloom going on, and I'm not sure if there's a bloom effect in Aseprite. But what I'm assuming is happening here, how I assume bloom works is it's put on like mostly some kind of transparency, and then gets made brighter, where it then will surround the edges and make it just blend a bit more, just to make it look generally nicer, right? And that can look fine, to be fair. I'll make this like a bright yellowy white for some extra stuff, but it still looks unnatural and uneven, and obviously it's going to be because of shading, but it doesn't look good. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be able to bother with the glow. Maybe it's like gonna put too much onto me, you know. Actually, I want to make this a bit more red. Yeah, alright. I'm already done. That's crazy. I am already somehow so finished with this, and this is just the lava still. I don't care about style consistency. I'm just gonna do what I think might look good, honestly. Because, like, yeah, it might look a bit unnatural because it's right next to lava and that typically glows, but oh, it's hard and I don't want to. You know, I don't feel like caring anymore. And I know there's the whole thing about don't use anti-aliasing too much, it looks bad, but like, I don't know what to do anymore. You're watching it here live, folks. I'm basically giving up and just doing what I think might look nice. That doesn't look too bad, the rocks look fine. I might make it a bit brighter, like up here. Maybe. Yeah. I'll have the highlights and that'll be my regular lava. And I might shift some stuff about. There we go. I'm happy to leave the actual lava bit, the chunky lava bit as it is, honestly. I just am so unbothered anymore. So I think all this does is just shift some stuff around a little bit, so I'm just gonna do that. I can basically just like shift these around a bit. I'm not sure how many ideas I'll have though. I could probably just shift it between 2 or 3 frames, honestly. I don't really. It's the subtle movements that matter, so I'll stick with those, honestly. There we go. Yeah, it's lazy, but I don't care. It looks fine, I think. There we go. File, save as. There we go. Now, there's only one way I know to make flowing lava, and that's just to shift everything down one. So I'm gonna just grab you. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the difference between these two is gonna be, but it's so minuscule that I'll just do that. Do that. Grab you. Shift it up. Oops. Fill you. There we are. In fact, I'm just gonna do this a bunch. I've got an idea. Okay. Oh, yeah, I guess it didn't always have that weird edge. Strange. Anyway. Okay. Are we almost there? Nope. Okay, Christ. Ooh, this is gonna be. Oh, did I just get an idea? Okay, I'm now realizing that these aren't even like progressively moving down anymore. They kind of stopped about here, I think. Yes, that's incredibly frustrating. Alright, gotta move everything down. Alright. Okay, no, I'm just gonna start from scratch. I don't even. Move that up. Realize I'm stupid. Okay, so that's there. Sweet. We're getting somewhere. Okay. Now we can see the different parts are stretching, which is very good, very much what we want. Boy, I love tedious tasks. Very grueling and wonderful. Right, okay, what mistake did I make here? Aha! I pressed control by accident. That's my bad. Okay. Okay. Alright. Where does this go? Okay. I think there. Yeah, that feels right, I guess. I think. Yeah, that's probably right. It's fine. I don't mind how this lava looks, to be fair. I wish I could have incorporated some of the glowing, but I've got no idea how to do that. Whoops. There we go. This is painful. I can't even lie. This hurts. This is not soul healing. This is tedious. I do think I should do this, and I am glad I'm actually starting to put work in, but this is a terrible way to start. Yeah. That's just not what I wanted. There we are. Alright. So I need to think about this, right? Considering the fact that there are 16 tiles upwards, for it to get back to its starting position, there would have to be 16 sprites. 16 unique sprites. 256. Okay. That means... Okay, this looks really unnatural and I'm not having it. Okay, yeah, no, I prefer that. Oh, wait. No. Yeah, whatever. It's probably fine. Oh. Wait, so that means this will be identical to whatever's halfway down. Oh, what have I done? Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, I'll just keep going. No one cares if it is twice as big as it needs to be. It's such a nothing thing. Yep. Perfect. Okay, I made a mistake somewhere. Naturally. Where did I make the mistake? There we are, alright. There we go. I don't know if I actually did make a mistake, but it's that insurance, because that just felt wrong. Okay, I don't. I think my worry was unwarranted. I think that those just look the same. Yeah, 100%. I did not need to worry. I realize why my mistake was made. I realize why I'm a stupid, bumbling idiot. I'm not. I'm not that dumb. I make dumb mistakes though. Now we do this. Uh, then I do that because there's no other way to get properly right. And now I don't want these to be exactly the same as we go across. But just to check, right, if I do that and then I do this. Actually, hang on a minute. Control C, Control V, and I can line up there and just see how close it matches. There's going to be like slight colour changes. Nope. Okay. Looks like those are just the same. Alright. Fair enough. Hang on. Okay guys, I'm back. So essentially we have finished our textures, right? We finished our lava flow, we finished our lava still, and we finished our lily of the valley. Now, there is one thing you might be thinking, well, these are just textures, right? There's no resource pack stuff going on. And yes, that's true, and I will not be changing any of the sound or anything like that. But, and I will be making this into a texture pack. So let me just show you how I do that, because I don't know how to code a texture pack. So here's what I do. Look through here and just look through the various amount of plugins I have until I find resource pack utils in tools. I scroll down and I find pack creator, create template resource pack and get the vanilla assets. I'll actually start that so it's easier to access. And I also want pack cleaner. Perfect. So now we've got pack cleaner and pack creator. So I want to go into pack creator. I want to pick a file location. I'll go D, new folder, resource packs. There we go. Do this and select that folder. Pack name, I'll do that. Pack description, that's not important. This is in the most recent version, no snapshots. Import vanilla assets, we want to be correct in there. Alright. Now there's all this extra stuff that we don't really care about, right? Textures, sounds, models, and block states should already be there from the import vanilla assets. And once we click create, I'll create a textures folder just in case, but there won't be any emissiveness, there won't be any like objects, plus because I won't be changing the sounds, languages, or the panoramas or anything like that. I won't be messing with any block states, models, or sounds, or any of the Optifine stuff. So you can just create that. You press OK, and it just does its thing. While you're waiting for it to do that, which takes a while, you can see you've got all the different textures going on. Clock 59, the report button, item frame, green candle cake, barrier. Now, right now we're in the JSON file stage of things. You can see we're quite far up on the list, so we can scroll down to get to the newest stuff, the most recent extractions. And you can see we're at like the oak pressure plate, the orange bundle, the bell, the infest cobblestone, but these are just the JSON files, so the stuff that's worked. And as you can see, now it's worked. It's been created. And now I can come here. Well, I can create another one and go to my D drive, scroll down to R, resource packs, and there it is. Assets, Minecraft, there's all this stuff, right? So you got your textures, you got your blocks, and literally I can just paste these in there. Actually, I'm gonna do it view by large icons, and you see you got lava flow, lava still, and the valley. I can paste these in. Actually, wait, no. Control C, Control V, and I can replace the files. Lava Flow, Lava Still, and Lily of the Valley are now all going to be in here. Now, I could... Now, if I've got everything I want in there, I can use Pack Cleaner. Come here. Hang on. Come here, go to my resource packs. And then I can choose this one. But, it's not actually finished. So, I'm going to boot up Minecraft in its newest version. I don't have any just test profile, so I'm gonna go for just that. There we go. It's in vanilla 1.21.8. I can then find my resource pack. I can use 7-zip to compress it. If I open this, it does just show me this though, which we don't actually want. I actually need to get these, use 7-zip to add them to hero pack.zip, and it does that, does its thing. We can move it to here so that it's separate, and then you see in here we've got our, when it loads, got our assets, pack.mcmeta, pack.png, which is our like icon. Right, we can change this to whatever we want if we just... I'm actually going to change this to something really quickly. So I'm going to do yet again open with Asprite, because right now it's just kind of like this cube, and you know you love to see the cube, right? But I want to use my own like little recognizability stuff, so I'm gonna grab this. Well, actually, first of all, I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna go for boom. I'm actually gonna set a symmetry for this. Perfect. There we go. Now I can go for boom. Oh, actually, gonna do this on a new layer. Gonna get the magic wand. I'm gonna do no. Okay, this is not what I wanted, is it? Magic wand. Control C. Control V. And then I can copy that. G. Just got some toned down stuff here. So then boom. And boom. Boom. There we go. Perfect. We've got our stuff. Perfect. And then press Control S. And now when I come here, open that up, it shows me this. Right. I might add like a little bit of a like an anti-aliasing kind of thing, but I can super easily do that just by using this plugin, FX, CT anti-aliasing, and it adds this lovely little thing. Do it on the inside or on the outside. I'll do it on the outside, and I'll press OK. I'm then going to do the same thing here, and the same thing here. Perfect. I do want to kind of do this as well, so that there's less. Yes, but yeah, and that's perfect. That is actually just perfect. And then come here. Obviously, do what I showed you before when I decided, before I decided to just like completely forego that to make the pack icon different. Okay, then I've got to come here, and I can just copy that into there. Press play. Now, something that a lot of the Blockbench... Now, if you use the Blockbench Pack Creator and toggle the objects toggle, because it includes the panoramas and sounds and stuff, that will also make the panorama like grey for some reason. Meaning that even when you use the
press enter to enable the narrator.
meaning that even when you use the pack cleaner, it doesn't quite work. Well, so I'm just gonna customize the settings real quick. That's it, that's everything. I can load up the world, and because it's vanilla, there's no modifications right now. It's all fine. Why is there... Okay, that's weird, hang on. There we go. Alright, so I can max that out up. There we go. Right. That was weird. Oh, it's because it... Right, okay. There we go. Right, anyway. Anyways, back to what I'm doing. So, I'm gonna get the stuff ready to see, right? Lily of the Valley and lava. Like a grave, but it's fine. And that is rough. Yikes. Okay. Oh, that's rough. But the Lily of the Valley doesn't look too bad. Let's focus on the Lily of the Valley, yeah? Okay, it looks weird. Probably because of the style. You know, the art style is very different to what I suppose what my intent was. So I'm not gonna be like as used to it, right? Which is a given when it's surrounded by this normal Minecraft stuff. The Lily of the Valley doesn't look too bad. I actually really like how this looks. I'm a big fan. I think that this looks really nice and it fits within the style of the flowers enough. Like if I get a bunch of flowers out, right, like oh, I'm stupid. Okay. It looks fine in the inventory, like I almost couldn't spot that for a second. Let me just get a bunch of flowers out. There we go, and it can just field of flowers and it honestly kind of fits in. I really like it, and I think it's really nice that it's this like kind of pale blue instead of just being white. I think I'm a big fan of that. I think that's really cool. Now the only way I know to get rid of flowers is I think this one. Yep. Okay. Cool. That is loud. Okay, it's not that loud, but still. But yeah, it doesn't look too out of place. I'm a big fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan of how that looks. I think the lava's a bit rough, but that's just because lava's just difficult in general to get right, especially with the way I did it. I think I might have went a bit too ambitious with it. Something I'm noticing is that the textures are actually completely flipped except for this top one here, which is very interesting. The textures are flipped except for this top one, but it's kind of shifted over weirdly, which is strange. I'm also realizing now that it doesn't go down by the amount of... Like, I'm realizing very quickly that that's been done right and good, right? There's no issues with that one. But this one, the top one doesn't actually go by what's... I guess you can see there's a lot of weird artifacting because it actually just like moves it downwards by one, and if you do that, it's gonna end up looking weird. Anyways, that's besides the point. Those are my textures for today. Feel free to suggest more, maybe keep voting in the poll. I'll just end up drawing whatever people want to see. Alright. Bye bye.